welcome to the P7 Conversations, Marquez Fuentes. I hope the pronunciation was good there.
Yep.
Listen, I've been looking forward to having this conversation for a little while. The reason why we do these conversations is for no reason other than to inspire and to have an impact on other members of our Platform 7 community. And you have quite a story, a unique story. And I want to start by sort of giving you the floor here and asking you maybe a bit of an intro in terms of your own background, in terms of what you're now doing, what led to what you're now doing, etc.
Yeah, of course. And to start off, Ricky, thank you for, just letting me be part of a video like this. I really do believe that I mean, like I'm 27. I really believe a lot of people should be sharing stuff like this and getting into it. But I guess like a mini introduction. My name is Marquez Fuentes. Yes, you said my name correctly. Um, and pretty much with Area Commercial Cleaning Services, I'm working for a really good company. Before I used to do nothing but, mostly sales jobs. My main job before, I think I want to say about 5 years ago, was a personal trainer. So I love that. And it was a fantastic job. So I kind of centered my focus around kind of helping people in that aspect in the like for the gym. Eventually COVID hit, so there was a couple obstacles that I had to deal with. I actually used to be a real big party guy. Sometimes you get that, well, you get the paradigm shift, right? You get a little catalyst change, and that's what eventually, turned on for me. And so I just put into drive, I made sure to continue to have that grit that I would always try to read on or motivate myself, even in certain times where I just didn't have any motivation. But I think in those times where I really defined what I wanted to do, and then I think that definitely led me to a certain spot, which is here now with you in this video.
And the the shift between personal training and the work you're now doing with Eric Commercial Cleaning, which is a cleaning services company based out in
Right.
LA. What was the driver behind that change in career?
I think a big obstacle was COVID at the time, but it's still in the realm of being of service. I like when people were getting to their goals, and over here it's like I like when we're able to bring value, I would say. So, it's a completely different industry, because you're training people and here you're servicing, providing a service. But I think that I still stuck with, talking to a lot of people, how we can provide, solutions to their issues or problems. And so like I kind of kept that little nugget from there and continued it on to this next job or career, I would say.
And the the you've been there now for what, a year or so?
A year and a half, yes.
Let me ask you this: what is the driver for you? You strike me always, whenever we speak and whenever we do sessions, as a very driven guy. What is the motivation?
My motivation is to be better than I was before. I, like I said, I was a big party guy. To be completely transparent with you and everyone watching these videos too, because like I mean that's what it is. Like you want to be real with the person. So, obviously I wasn't getting to a certain point in my life with the mentality that I had. So I changed it, and I wanted to make sure to keep that drive, like keep my why. Yeah, of course for me, because I want to make sure that I'm like I'm sure everyone's heard that 1% better, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that I'm pushing more than that because of my mentality and how it was before. So now like my drivers are like myself, of course, because I need to do it myself, my family, huge support system, my girlfriend, certain friends that keep me accountable and push me, and just like I surround myself with certain people, like my coworkers, are like almost as close as friends, but also some people that I see where I can definitely learn something from someone or from them, I would say. So you could always take a little piece from
Yeah.
everyone and learn from them. But that's what kind of drives me because I know that I can keep on like doing a little bit better, just a little bit day by day, if that makes sense.
100%. And it's interesting because you basically said what how you were, it wasn't working. And I remember
Yeah.
somebody said to me a couple of years ago, the statement or the saying, if you want different, you need to do different. And it
Yep.
sounds like such a simple sentence, such a simple term, but there's so much power in that. It is that simple. If you want a different outcome, you just need to do
Yeah.
something, or if nothing changes, nothing changes. Um,
Exactly.
and you mentioned you're in sales. How do you
Yeah.
feel about sales? Do you enjoy it? Is it something you think you're good at? Are you learning the ropes?
Mhm. I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep on learning. Like honestly, like I see and I read a lot, and so I like sales. I like talking to people. I like the opportunity to create my own opportunities to create my own something. I would say to not only service but also look for that financial freedom that I thought about in the beginning when I had that little catalyst change, my paradigm shift, right? And I wanted to be able to take care of not only myself but other people, um, and also continue to do that. So with sales, I have the opportunity to do that, but I have to make sure that I have to put that work in, and it's going to be a lot of work, you know. But you have to be ready for it.
100%. And you mentioned you very kindly the sort of early on in this conversation, you mentioned
Hmm.
how much appreciate the opportunity to talk and how you're 27 and like what and how I guess there's it's quite unique having the ability to speak at such an age. Why do you think it's important that you get to have these kind of conversations or someone of your age?
Um, like I'm gonna learn from you, Ricky. That's why it's important. Like I'm gonna learn from what I say when I'm talking. And it's important to me because like I think that a lot of people didn't necessarily learn how to communicate properly. And I also include myself in that because before I didn't know how to communicate properly. Before, of course, I mean, yes, I get the toxic masculinity of stuff and things like that. But when it comes to communicating feelings, I'm all for it. Like I want to get my point across. I want so whoever I'm talking to, a significant other, family member, or anyone else to understand me because I'm gonna try to understand you. I think that's the best way to find common ground, and I feel like that helps me continue to chip away on the communication and continue to like build a better foundation of what I'm trying to do. If it's in this conversation, let's say if it's work or with school, because I mean you can never over communicate. You get me?
I cannot agree with you more. Um, People always talk about how we are the average of the five people we spend the most time with. Um,
Yeah.
Talk to me about your closest friend group in terms of where they're at. Similar age? Are they on the same sort of driven path you're on? Are they in school? Are they still trying to figure it out?
So I would say my friend group is all close around my age. I have other friends that are obviously older. And I like having, and I've noticed over time, I've gotten along with a lot of older people as well. A little bit more than my people my age, quite frankly. But there's always outliers. But my friends, for example, buddy Mario that I've spoken to you about, he's also in sales. But we had conversations, right? Of, in-depth conversations and talking about like our lifestyle, significant others, and work, of course. But we have the same mindset of we just want to keep on going. Mind you, we went to the same high school. We played water polo together. We were in varsity. We made it to CIF. We didn't make it to state, but we did good for the most part. I'm gonna just say we did good. But we want to see each other do good. So another friend of mine, also known since high school, his name's Nevin. It's like sounds like Kevin, but with an N in the beginning
Yep.
instead of the K. And again, played water polo with him too as well. But a good friend, and that friend, looking back, always held me accountable when we were younger. Always tell me something that I didn't want to hear. Um, Also, of course, I'm also putting my girlfriend out there. Like she is my best friend. She does hold me accountable. She, is a big support system as I am to her. So I like having those people that I'm close with that I can share those personal stories with, those I can get real and raw with them because it feels good to have that kind of support system. It feels good to have people that, not necessarily are on your team,
Mhm.
but like my friends, but that are, of course, rooting for you, if that makes sense. And I would say other friends of mine would be, I always had this in my coworkers. My coworkers every single day, damn near, I see them. We make jokes, and we talk about either when it comes to politics, we talk about work when it comes to how can improve things. We talk about other
Yeah.
personal stuff, and I like it. You can grow, you build a team with it. So my friend group, I try to keep it not necessarily tight, but real when it comes to working together and just being around each other. And that's what I like, and that's what I try to like continue to have.
Who is who inspires you?
Um, well, I gotta give all the glory to God, of course, but the people that have gone through a lot in their life, that even people that didn't have to go through a lot in their life, that keep on going, because I believe that resiliency is a key quality to have in yourself. Um, and I like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people deal with a lot, and a lot of people deal with things different ways. But I am inspired and motivated by those people, that anyone, anyone that just keeps it pushing.
What do you think is the most important quality or trait required in order to succeed?
You gotta want it. I think you gotta. That might be too vague because I think everyone wants it, but I think the most important quality or trait to have would be, I think, to manage the time to do things. I think I like structure,
Hmm.
right? And my structure is time management. And I'm always trying, especially with organization. But I think making the time, because you need time to in order for you to be successful. Like at least to plan and to work. That's me.
It's interesting because when you talked about resiliency, that's
Yeah.
what prompted me to ask you the question: what do you feel is the most important trait in order to succeed? And actually,
Mm,
because that was the answer I guess I was looking for. Because speaking from my own experience, the standout trait and quality I see in successful people, yes, they may have goals, or they may have ambition, or they may have drive, or they may have intelligence or creativity, whatever. But that
yeah,
one
of
thing
course.
which actually separates them is the ability to keep going over and over and over again, no matter what. But the answer you gave me was also even more interesting, because you talked about, your term was, you got to want it. And
Yeah.
I think that to me is arguably as important, purely because it's so rare that people know what they want. And
Right.
it's something like 1% of people know exactly what they want. And
Hmm.
actually, that is one of the reasons or the drivers as to why I wanted to get you on one of these conversations. Because every time we speak, every time we have conversations, the thing that stands out is you're just so like laser focused as to where it is you want to get to, where it is you want to go. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's
And
interesting.
I try, and I think it's phenomenal that you say that, because it is kind of what is it that you want. And I feel like you have to remind yourself every day, damn near, to remind yourself what is the purpose for today, or what is your purpose? What do you want today? Or what do you want? What's, that goal, or like you were saying.
Yeah. Um, what is the what's the best bit of advice you've ever received?
It's a good one,
I
it's
thought
a
it
good
might throw
one.
you.
Yeah, it threw me off. My grandma. She always gives good advice, but I think there's a couple of I mean, advice from someone specifically, correct?
From someone, from something you've read, from something someone's told you, and you can pass
There's
on the
a,
question.
ugh, I know. I want to say there's two quotes. There's one's a sports quote from football, Marshawn Lynch, Actually, it was a video, very repetitive when he was talking. The video where he goes, he's gonna go through the guy because he's gonna tackle him. He's like, I'm going over and over and over and over. And he says over like maybe 10 times. But that's like as repetitive as it sounds like you got to do it over and over and over again until you get it right. And then once you get it right, maybe after 1,000 times, doing it, maybe after one or I don't know, however many you do, you get
Okay.
it. Another one by Ronnie Coleman is I know he's hurt, he's old now and he's hurt now, but he says there's ain't nothing to it but to do it. I mean, you just got to go do it. Follow through with what you say. Um,
Very cool.
but I think I want to say I think the best advice someone has given me so far was to and I think this is kind of vague, but I think this comes from like a lot of people that have given me. I think because many people have said this, the same thing, and it's like, okay, well, it clicked, and it's just keep on going. You just keep on going. So it doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter what's in front of you, doesn't matter what you have to go under or through or above or around or I don't know, however you want to go through it. Um, just keep on going, and a lot of people would tell me that. And of course I would, reciprocate that back to other people. And it wasn't even it was in positive times and negative times and neutral times, and it's something that stuck and something that like I think everyone should hold on to, I guess.
Was it easy for you starting out in this job? Was it
Mm,
intimidating? Did you feel out of your depth? Did you feel like you didn't know what you were doing?
For the most part, because I like talking to people, and even if I don't know what I'm saying or talking about sometimes, I'll try to control the conversation. But it was easy in the beginning up until it got really hard. But then again, now it's just a new job. So I'm learning new things. And now I have a better knowledge, of course. So it's easier for me to like maneuver. But there were some obstacles, of course. Like I was asking a lot of questions, like Ignacio or Rodolfo, of course, Israel, Albie, other people, just so I can improve myself. Yeah, I mean, let's say if it is easy, doesn't mean it's going to continue to be easy, like, and then I get too complacent. So, like, I knew the obstacles, so I use them as like learning experiences to like deal with other harder obstacles in the future.
And if I was a 24, 25-year-old guy, girl, thinking about getting out there in the working world, thinking about maybe going into sales, and I was to ask you what advice you would give me, what
Yeah.
words may prepare me, what would you say?
Um, so I'm 27, so they're a couple years younger. My sister's about 25, 24. I think I would say, honestly, I would say keep it pushing, like everyone is dealing with something in your life. Like everyone has their own obstacles, everyone has a life, right? So as much as we can say we understand other people, we can understand why they're going through it, but we can't understand exactly what they're feeling. So when I say keep it pushing, it may sound kind of dismissive, but I want to clarify that I want you to, I guess in a nicer way, I want to see you successful. You know, why would I not want to see you successful? I want to see you feed yourself and feed your family and provide whatever means necessary. I want to see the growth of people younger than me. I want to see people make more money than me, that are younger. I want to see them more successful. I mean, I've seen a lot of messed up things in my life. And of course, we see a lot of stuff on social media and the news. So like I want to see people successful. I want to see people being okay in their lives. I want to see them, enjoy this life as much as we're here for because we're here for less than about 100 years now. Some people live till 80, 90. My great grandmother lived till 105.
Wow.
So she lived a lot and she's seen a lot. So, and she was a very strong and happy woman when she passed.
Okay.
So, and I know that she always mentioned like family because ever she was like that glue of the family. But that's like she also wanted that for us, and I feel like that was even as a young age. Maybe I didn't understand too well, but I grew up with the fact that like, yeah, let's all win. Everybody should eat, and everybody should get a piece of the pie.
I do I love that bit of advice and that kind of mentality and mindset. Um, if you were sitting in my shoes and you were asking yourself, what bit of advice you, Marquez, needs to hear in this moment right now, what would you say?
If I'm in, Let me understand the question. So if I'm in your shoes and I'm asking for
If
the
you're asking
advice,
yourself, if you're asking yourself, what advice do I need to hear right now? What you're asking Marquez, what Marquez needs to hear. What were you telling yourself?
what am I telling myself?
Hmm.
Um, well, I tell myself, um, don't fucking complain. Keep it pushing. Like you're telling you want to tell people to keep on going. Well, you better live that shit up yourself, and excuse my French. Yeah, but 100%, I just maybe I'm just a little harsh on myself, but like I'm gonna keep on pushing myself. Like I have to, I have to, whether it's in the gym or whether it's when I'm running, because I run a lot more now, or whether it's with work or
Yeah.
with school or math. My God, I'm okay with math, but I don't like math. So like I just have to keep on going. Like go, go, go. Green light. Of course, hit every mark. I don't want to be so impulsive and so fast because you got to hit every single mark, and they're in your own race. But like I'm gonna keep on going, just physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything. That's what I tell myself in that way.
Would you
That
say
makes
you are
sense.
hard on yourself?
A little bit, yeah. And I try to be a little bit more easy on myself too, but I think it just comes like I think it's like it has its own consciousness of being hard on myself. But I mean, of course, like I motivate myself to go, but I think I'm being a little bit easier.
If you could ask me one question, what would you ask me? Again, you
What's
have a
one thing?
pass.
Huh?
I said you can pass on the question, but it sounds like you got one lined up.
I do. Okay, Ricky, so you're a successful man, and mind you, you also inspire me too. Yeah, and I love having these conversations with you. I like how we can just get on the phone, and
Thank
talk.
you.
Now, with what you've learned from me, and this helps me, mind you, what you've learned from me so far, whether or not you can use it or not, what do you think is relevant to you that you can use in your life,
Um,
if anything's relevant?
I would say, it's interesting because what I find with the people I work with, the people I advise, people that come join the Platform 7 community, it tends to be the case that what they're going through, I've experienced myself. Sometimes get the sense that if I didn't experience it myself, I wouldn't be able to relate or understand it or be able to, support our members. And as I'm listening to you speak, there are two things that there are two things that stand out to me. One is I asked you about you being hard on yourself. It's one thing I've noticed about you consistently, not in this conversation, in over the last 6, 8 months, whatever it's been.
Hmm.
And it's something I absolutely relate to. And there's a balance between being nice to yourself, but also pushing yourself. And I guess it strikes a chord with me because I kind of see that I see that in you. I see it in myself as well. Um, and the other thing is, I seem to speak about this topic over and over again, and we've discussed it. I was on the phone to a real estate client in London about it yesterday. I was watching a
Hmm.
documentary about Victoria Beckham and her fashion company over the weekend,
Right.
and just perseverance. And it's so ingrained in you, and it's something which you consistently, no matter how you show up, good days, bad days, having a good week, bad week. Like my saying to my mentor is like literally I'll end every interaction, every meeting, every conversation with we just keep going. We keep going, we keep going, we keep going. And it's just refreshing to almost like see you mirroring it. And
Hmm.
the genuine reason why I believe you're going to be successful is I think you want it enough. I think you know exactly where you're going and why you want it. But sorry, and you have this humility to you. I think you're very open to change, you're open to learn, you're open to constructive feedback, critique, whatever that may
Always.
be. But I think this inbuilt, ingrained muscle you have of perseverance and the ability to keep going over and over and over again, that right there is a single ingredient why I'm convinced that in 5, 7, 10, 20 years' time, we'll be having a conversation around the success you've had. And that will be the reason why you got there.
You
And
know,
yeah, Tom,
sometimes people just need to hear that, but thank you though, Ricky. Of course, it motivates me even more to also hear that as well. And that's why I asked that question. Sorry, I cut you off.
no, it's a great question. And I'm thinking as I wrap these conversations up,
Hmm.
I I usually try and figure out like what's the one bit of advice I want to give the person I'm speaking to.
Hmm.
I think in your case, I think we kind of covered that in that brief sort of summary. But I'm now thinking to myself, what do I want our viewers or our listeners to take from this conversation? I think what you represent and why I
Yeah.
was so keen to have you on today is basically your laser focused driver as to where you want to go, your ability to put yourself in uncomfortable positions and be willing to make mistakes and keep picking yourself up, and this ingrained inbuilt muscle you have to keep going, and what that actually looks like. We see it on Instagram posts. We hear the Mark Zuckerbergs or the Oprah Winfreys or the Steve
Yeah.
Jobses talk about perseverance, but when you see it at such an early stage of one's journey in you at 27 years old, this resilience, I think that's inspiring. And yeah, I think I want to wrap there by just saying it's highly inspiring. I hope others take from this conversation what I'm taking from it because I get
Definitely.
inspired too. And firstly, thank you so much for giving your time today. And yeah, I wish you all the best in your journey ahead. And I look forward to seeing how it all unfolds.
Thank you, Ricky. And this is, like I said, fantastic opportunity. I'm grateful. I'm blessed, and I continue to want to do this. And of course, yeah, I really look forward to having that conversation a couple years down the line. And
Sounds good.
just looking back.
Sounds good, Marquez. Thank you for your time. This has been amazing. It's been great having you on.
Thank you, Ricky.